Alright folks, I know this isn't the normal start screen. I just wanted you to appreciate Warren Harris, the Son of Steel here. I've geared him out pretty heavy. I haven't given him a weapon or a shield because I wanted him to keep his sword, which does ×3 damage versus larger beings. So like I said earlier, I think, he hits giants for literally 90 points of damage. But I've given him a dragon helmet, black steel full plate, boots of the messenger, girdle of might. I just gave him his flask of holy water, so he is blessed, because my blessing is actually pretty rad. Magic resistance, blood surge, poison resistance, and decay weapons. Nice little utility plus. And of course, a lifelong protection, so that he auto-summons imps. So he's pretty scary, to be honest. This turn, I got my Alquill from Calum. I've cast Reanimation and Wolves and Revive King a lot. I searched for magic sites and didn't find any. Boo. Sad. But that is life, unfortunately. So, Yurik is already moving down there to search. I've got more scouts sneaking around, carrying blood slaves. Actually, you can just go right up there. Unfortunately, Cantail got diseased, so that's sad. Nothing has happened over here yet, so hopefully she's doing something. She might as well blood hunt while she's standing here, I guess. Odds are low, but it's worth a shot. And beyond that, just kind of researching away. I did lose Arcocephali. This little tiny Avite army charged in, and they actually won, surprisingly. But that's okay. I'll take it back. I mean, it actually pisses me off because I was going to build a fort there again, but... well. Yeah, the heavy cav charged in well before everyone else and, of course, got stabbed to death. And then this is the bad independent heavy infantry, so they didn't manage to accomplish all that much. They inflicted a... these are pretty badass Avite spearmen, to be honest. Some of them are very, very experienced. I think these might be survivors of early expansion. So, alas, we lost there. But we took Peacehaven, so we are besieging that fort, so we can't recruit. We bounced a scout off of Redbud Grove. And looking at it, it's funny. Because, I mean, like, okay, some of these units are starving, which I expected. But a lot of them are horror marked. Like, really a lot of them. There is a huge fraction of the... Like I don't know what's happened here, but, like, 60% of the armies here are horror marked. And there's only one Yaksha now, where I think there also used to be a Yakshini. You can see here, this Yavanna archer is starving and diseased. And these ones over... One of those is starving, so they're starting to feel the effect of Theranos' dominion. There's not enough supplies to keep this army fed. Which is great. I should be able to push this army over fairly easily. This guy can still cast some nasty spells, but we'll see. The Wolf Tribe are just going to rout. I mean, they're going to HP rout because the Wolf Tribe will get massacred. Now, I don't know why they're all horror marked. Because if we look at the thrones, there are thrones that horror mark you, but none of these horror mark. All of these would be really good because these four all give mages. This one gives Blood Slaves, Earth, and Order. And then this one gives Growth and 3 Nature Gems per turn. So any throne would be fantastic, and I am going to gear up to take that throne in the next few turns. I do have quite a few Death Mages, so one way I may well do that is by summoning a whole bunch of skeletons back here. A little low on Death Gems right now because I've summoned so many skeletons up here. A lot of skeletons. I've summoned a lot of skeletons. I've summoned, I believe, 170 skeletons. So, it's a lot. And then I have good old Leper Love back here with another 40. So that's actually 210 skeletons. He's going to bounce down here to try to wipe out those chariots. This little force is ducking down south to retake Arcocephali. And this force is leaving a scout to keep the siege down if Nasajin doesn't do anything about it, and popping up north to hit Bycliff. Hinnom is still at moderately damaged because it is, after all, a very tough fort, but we will get it pretty soon. And research-wise, we're going to hit construction level 5 next turn. After that, construction level 6, and our forges are starting to rev up. We're set to forge a Girdle of Might and a Fire in a Jar every turn now. We'll still be significantly positive on Earth Gems. We're actually going to be slightly negative on Fire Gems, so in a few turns we're going to have to stop forging Fire in a Jar just because we have not found hardly any fire sites. In fact, I think we found 0. I think that Fire Gem is coming from... Nope, we found 1. What was the one? What is the one site that's giving us a fire gem? I don't even know where it is. I don't remember. I don't know where that... Oh, here it is. It's the Wildfire Glade up here in Giant Spine. So yeah, one fire gem. Not the greatest, but honestly, we don't need fire gems for all that much. It would be nice to have them for lightless lanterns once we hit Construction 6, but if we don't have them for lightless lanterns, it still won't be the worst. Our research is still going up. I'm just not able to save money. I've been spending money on so many other things that seem so important that I haven't been able to get the Sage research set up yet. But we're moving out. We're setting up some more blood hunting. We've got Polly moving down here. She's going to start blood hunting in Troya. We're going to pick up some wolves because we are wolving it up hardcore. And we're also setting Aceline to blood hunt here just because might as well. Like, ain't no reason she shouldn't be blood hunting while she's standing here. We'll hand her a stick, and she will blood hunt until something good happens in this province. Or something terrible. I mean, it could be something awful happens in this province. I don't know. But we'll find out. Even if it does, it will kill a temple, and so lower my temple checks, but it won't lower my Dominion spread chance, because I'll still have 5 temples. So that'll be nice. I do need to build more temples, but a big part of that is I definitely need to grab these 2 thrones that I have, because I've got that throne, and I've got that throne basically in my sphere of influence. Therados could potentially fight me over this throne, but hopefully he won't. Hopefully he won't. He's busy. Although seemingly successful. So that's a little frightening. I think that blow that the Marverni took a couple turns back, they are having trouble recovering from. Mictlan attacked the independents in this province and won. They have started summoning some Ozelotls. So they've got some blood magic going on, albeit not much. I mean, that's not a lot of blood magic. And we are peaceful, at least for the nonce. Seems to be pushing back Ternanog, or at least trying to. Marverni attacked Atlantis and was defeated. Interesting. They lost a druid running into an Atlantean province. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. The People's Death Match is scheduled in the arena. Spellcasting is not allowed. All participants will get a slave collar to ensure they do not perform magic or run away. So I could send a champion. That would be interesting. But, to be honest, if I was going to send someone, I would send Warren Harris. I'm trying to remember. Is this game using the Better Arena mod? I think it is. Because Warren Harris has lifelong protection. So he auto-summons imps. And he is quite tough. My only worry is, I think he'll lose one of his miscellaneous items, because if I send him, then the slave collar will replace the item. You know what I'm gonna do? Well, no, because you can't cast items. Never mind. I was about to say send Coheed the Barbarian. Coheed is unfortunately dying of his disease, and he will just die, and no one is going to do anything about it. And it's very sad, but his brother Cambria the Barbarian will succeed him. And I'm literally just going to have a steady string. I'm planning to name pretty much all of my warrior chiefs in this manner, if you couldn't guess already. So, fairly simple turn. Everything is going to code. I'm just going to keep ramping my research up and drive down to Blood 7. And like I said, hopefully hit it by turn 50, if not before, and start summoning vampires. And by that point, my Blood Slave income should be good enough to be pumping out vampires pretty much every turn, or every couple of turns. And so it'll be Late Age Ulm and the Early Age. Blood Ulm for realsies. At some point, I am going to want to fight Calum and take the Obsidian Waste. And Peacehaven, I'm just bouncing off for now. Like I said, I'm leaving one guy to maintain the siege if he doesn't try to break it. And otherwise, I'm just going back and taking problems. He's causing a nuisance for me. That's fine. That's kind of expected. Actually, what I probably want to do here... I don't necessarily need to hold the siege with all this stuff. So I may take a leper crawl with some skeletons and go take some more provinces. Here, let's do this. Let's take Leper Crawl with 40 skeletons. And Leper Crawl, go take that and that. And that'll be fine. That will only reduce the siege strength by 40. And so we'll still crack it in a couple of turns. And after that, we will take Hinnom. And we will take with Gomorrah, which gives me Blood Slaves, and Mount Hermon, which gives me more Earth, more Fire, and a little bit of Astral. So that will be rad. I'll be up to 10 Earth Gems per turn, 3 Fire per turn, and 3 Astral per turn. And I'll be able to turn those towards something good at some point here. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in turn 36. Alright, turn 36. The destruction of Hinnom continues apace, and my treasury is at exactly 0. That's how you know it was a good turn. Looking at messages, summoned a bunch of stuff. Searched for some magic sites. None was found. But none was found. But none was found. Very common message. However, I captured a crap ton of blood slaves. My blood slave income this turn was actually over 50, which is pretty cool. I've got Vitimer searching for magic sites still. I've got lots of people hopping around searching for sites right now. I've also, instead of reanimating more skeletons, I feel like I have enough skeletons for the nonce. I know, that's heretical. But, I feel like I probably have enough skeletons right now. So, Ardaric is instead casting... Ardaric is still reanimating skeletons. Landobert is casting Dark Knowledge. And to be honest, I could set Ardaric to be casting Dark Knowledge too. Yeah. Just because I desperately want to find every death site possible. So I'm going to set them both to cast Dark Knowledge monthly. They are going to run my death stockpile down a little bit doing that, but slowly, and they'll be searching 2 provinces per turn for every death site, which will be good. The blood event finally fired. So there was a random event in Sarin Forest. Your blood mage has joined with the local warlock and attempted a summoning. Unfortunately, the demons broke free. So I got Sag the blood mage, and then he got 2 extra levels of blood. A blood mage is normally blood 1. He's blood 3. And so there was a battle in Sarin Forest where we fought demons. So it happened to be the low-level event. So we're fighting 4 devils and a whole bunch of fiery imps. So on their side, they have that. On my side, I have Garbage Lion Tribe Province Defense, led by Athanaric the Warrior Chief. I have Sag the Blood Mage, who is level 3 blood, and I have Asaline the Garnet Sorceress, who is level 1 fire, level 1 blood. And the Blood Mage comes with some blood slaves. He comes with 6. Or actually, those might have been Asaline's. Those might have been the slaves that she hunted up. I think they probably were. So, the battle actually went fine. Both blood mages just started summoning imps with their blood slaves, and the imps charged in and distracted the enemy. And then the Lion Tribe went in, and the Lion Tribe can actually fight imps because fiery imps are garbage, and more importantly, their morale is low. So these fiery imps actually got routed. The devils then came in and basically trashed my Lion Tribe because Lion Tribe are bad. So the Lion Tribe all ran away, but in the process, they let the archers do enough damage and held the devils off long enough that this one devil jumped in and murdered the Garnet Sorceress, and then they all routed from HP losses. So, overall, net positive. Net slightly positive because I effectively... What happened here was, effectively, I transformed a Garnet Sorceress into a Blood 3, which I am fine with. Sag the Blood Mage is my new best friend when it comes to blood. I can empower him once, and he will then... I'm actually not going to blood hunt with him even. I'm going to empower him once. And then he will be my champion of blood magic. I'm going to need a Garnet Sorceress down here in Troya, which I'm going to hunt the hell out of. I need to give her another Alia, a rod, and she will move down this way. So she'll be there in a couple of turns. I am moving around wolves. I am practicing my wolf-ing. Summoning some more wolves. Vitigoya is summoning some more wolves, and these 2 ladies are summoning some more wolves. Meliath actually needs to... Don't need her summoning wolves. I can have Philia. Philia is actually Air Death crosspath, which is an interesting crosspath. It lets you cast Corpseman Construction, which benefits from a couple of items that, if you add them up, make it quite efficient, actually. You can get 6 Corpsemen for 1 Air Gem, and they are pretty decent high HP chaff. That said, not sure I want to do that, especially because I don't have many air gems. I do have a lot of nature gems. So if I want chaff, what I'll probably actually do is either awaken Vinemen or construct mannequins. But I'm waiting for my god to wake up. Because as soon as Irminsul wakes up, I am going to try to cast Mother Oak like as quickly as humanly possible. Because I would love to have Mother Oak. It would be so nice. And I am honestly shocked that no one has cast it yet. I guess everyone who has nature magic has been busy. I mean, I would have expected Ternanog or to try to cast it, but they're busy fighting each other, so they're probably spending all their gems doing that. And beyond that, there isn't, I guess, another big nature nation in the game. Arco's dead. Baratos is dead and wasn't nature anyway. Tirnanog has nature, but they're busy. Marverni have some nature, but not a huge amount of nature. And, of course, nobody got to pick their pretender, so nobody got a big nature pretender god, like they always do, who can cast it right off the bat. Somehow I screwed up and didn't have somebody there to pick up blood slaves, so I'm moving a couple people over to do that. Remismund is diseased, which is sad. I think the diseases, I don't know why so many diseases are popping up. Possibly it's still the Silver Sarcophagus, but I didn't think the Silver Sarcophagus had an effect that long. Munderic here, I don't need to be, I'm not recruiting anybody more there, that's fine. Therados looks like they are winning against Marverni, which is really, really sad. But kind of expected. Marverni itself is now breached. I'm going to move a scout in there to see how that battle goes. And both of these provinces are swarming with ghosts. I do not have excellent anti-ghost options at the moment. And so actually assembling good anti-ghost options would probably be my next priority. Yeah. So that's something that I have to worry about. I need to hit construction 6, so that's going to be probably 3 more turns still. And hopefully it'll happen soon. We've got a couple more air quills. We're still forging fire in a jar. We're also forging girdles of might. To be honest, I don't necessarily need Arnald forging girdles of might, because he has 3 paths. So I would actually rather have him researching, and I would rather have Etika, who only has 2 paths, forging. So Etika, since you're just forging Earth 1 items, you can forge the Girdles of Might, and Arnald, you can just research. We're back up to 25 Earth Gems, which is great. Probably gonna try and hold Earth Gem expenditure down a little bit, so we're forging the Girdle, which is gonna be 2 gems because of the Forge bonus. And that's fine. I'll be going up by 9 gems per turn, so I'll be able to possibly cast some Earth spells. The Walls of Hinnom are severely damaged, so it will be probably 1 or possibly 2 turns to breach. I will have Godegazel and Agrawolf there. Agrawolf is not dying anymore because he has the Ring of Regeneration. Kohi the Barbarian is dying, and he's just going to die. And then his brother, Cambria the Barbarian, will take over prophet duties sometime once that becomes an option. Over here, the siege continues. My skeletons are moving around. I'm making sure to hold this fort under siege in a more serious way, so I've got about 100, a little over 100 siege strength moving down to hold that. These guys are going to clean up these giants down here, and I am moving down a Gerulf to build a lab and fort in Arcocephale. My income is a little bit higher now, although I'm still spending a huge fraction of it. You're actually casting Dark Knowledge on the Desert Divisions, so Stallo, I do not need you searching for Death 1 in that province. So that is that. Everything's going kind of pretty much peachy keen, to be honest. I need to move my scouts around. Yeah, I have just a lot of diseased people. There has to be something that's causing just random diseases. And I'm not sure what's in this province that's causing all the horror marks there, but I am definitely going to try and take advantage of it. That is going to be a priority here. I'm worried that Therados is going to go for that throne, and I want that throne. So, I need... To be honest, what I need right now are summons. And I don't really have summons, because I have not been researching Conjuration. I have skeletons, but those are about the only summons I have. So instead, I'm actually gonna... I have 59 nature gems. What's my income? 5 per turn. I am going to construct mannequins once. So Gilly will get 12 mannequins for 12 nature gems, which will give me a little bit of chaff. I have 0 money for recruiting troops. Literally 0. Which is okay. It just means that I need to be moving troops this direction, because all my troops are currently in Hinnom, and it's just going to take a few turns for me to do anything about that. I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to end up going to war with Therados soon. Therados are fairly large and powerful. I mean, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 uncontested provinces up here, plus they're about to take Marverni. 6, 7, 8, I presume 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 at least, plus whatever else they have in the ocean, contesting with Atlantis. It really looks like Atlantis and Therados have made a white peace. It really, really looks like they're just not fighting, which is very, very sad, because Atlantis is kind of the nation that does best against Therados, and it's a nation that could have probably strangled them in the cradle. And it's depressing to see Atlantis not do that. And to be honest, for Atlantis, I think it's strategically the wrong move. I think as Atlantis, if Therados was in my pond, I would pretty much just want to rush some kind of combat magic and go kill them as quickly as I could. Because if Therados spirals out of control, they can become powerful, but in the beginning of the game, they're not. And as Atlantis, you have Mages of the Deep that have 4 elemental paths or potentially some astral. And so you can do all kinds... I mean, you just cast damage magic at them. Ghosts just die to damage magic. It's not... Like, if we look at this battle real quick so we can see the stats of ghosts again, their protection 0. You just hit them with a spell and they die, basically. So, yeah. It's very unfortunate, especially because if you don't have powerful magical damage, hoplites, spectral hoplites are very difficult to handle, especially because they float. So, my magical strategy for dealing with these guys is gonna have to be like Magma Eruption, which is an evocation spell that I am nowhere near, because I've been focusing on other things. It's level 6. It does magical damage, quite a bit of it, and it has a wide area of effect. It's Fire 2, Earth 2, Earth 2, Fire 2, so any of my Earth Fire Master Smiths, the ones who have Earth 2, which is fairly common, can hold a fire in a jar, cast Phoenix Power, and then they can cast Magma Eruption. Unfortunately, like I said, it's Evocation level 6, and I'm nowhere near it. If I were to research Evocation, the best I could actually get in short order would be Fireball, potentially Acid Bolt, after I hit Construction level 6 and start forging Water Bracelets. And I mean, Fireball will kind of work. Fireball will do damage to ghost armies, but there's also the issue that I just can't fight ghosts for very long because they'll put up Foul Vapors, and Foul Vapors will massacre my troops. Now, another caveat to that, poison-resistant spells have been buffed in the latest patch. I'm going to have to release a patch notes video, and actually that video will doubtless have come out before this video, so never mind that. But in any case, poison resistance has just been buffed, so casting poison resist spells does mostly protect the troops hit from Foul Vapors. So I can do that. I have nature magic. Fighting ghosts is a pain in the ass when you're not a powerfully magical nation. And I really, really wish that one of the powerfully magical nations had actually fought Therados before they became cancer, but now they've metastasized. metastasize, however you pronounce that word. And it's gonna be an itch. I didn't even count these provinces over here. They have as many provinces as me, and they free spawn, which I don't. So, yeah, it's gonna be a problem. In order to actually start recruiting troops, I'm gonna have to start cutting back on mages. I think. But I'm not cutting back on... Well, actually, cutting back on Garnet Sorceresses might be the thing to do. Because their main use is blood hunting. And I think at this point I have enough to do reasonable blood hunting. If I just spread them out. So... that feels bad, though. Strategically speaking, I think I have to focus on developing my economy in other ways at this point. Bycliffe, I need to be blood hunting. Not Arco. Most of these provinces aren't any good for it, but Bycliffe is. So I definitely need to be hunting Bycliffe. And... ooh, Pyramid of Life and the Mineral Cave. Excellent, this is a great province. I love it. I love it. More gems for me. All the gems for me, please. I have one more Sanguine Dowsing Rod. Let's forge another. Yep, let's do that. And Runo. You're blood 2, and you need to be blood 3. So, we're going to empower you in blood one more time. That'll get you up to level 3, and then you'll be able to start forging bloodstones. We'll hand you a hammer. You'll start churning out bloodstones so that we can boost our earth magic. Earth magic is really good, except against ghosts, it's not, because most earth spells do not affect floating units, and all spectral units are floating. So, Maws of the Earth doesn't hurt them. Earth Meld does not hold them. None of that stuff. There is an earth spell that hits floating units, Blade Wind, but it doesn't hurt ethereal units much because they have a 75% chance to dodge it. Now, you can still make Blade Wind work against ghosts, since they are protection 0, even though 75% of the hits are bounced off. Well, they have shields too, is the thing. You have to have magical AoE damage. And magical AoE damage comes from evocation. So I may, depending on how friendly Therados is, if I can manage to get Therados to remain friendly, then I can go into vampires. I may have to delay going into vampires, though, because I may have to pick up evocation first. And with my research still being bad, although not nearly as bad as it was, comparatively my research is getting better. I'm now significantly and distinctly above, I'm more than 10 times the turn by a good bit, since I picked up the sages and all. So, that's good. I'm doing better. But I still need to do better than that. Yeah. But honestly, I'm in a pretty good place. Therados is worrying, but not something that I can't deal with, just something that's going to be a pain to deal with. We can work on it. Especially because I can forge the Spell Focus and the Eye of the Void, which increases magic penetration, which means that I can put those guys on a shaman or a horned or an antlered shaman, and then they can banish very effectively. So that's also an option. I have that option. I have Astral Pearl income. I have hammers. I can forge astral items with my sages with a high degree of efficiency. It's unfortunate that all my priests are only level 1, because I would really ideally want a level 2 or 3 priest to banish more powerfully, but, needs must when the devil drives. What actually is my banish again? Decree of the Underworld. Oh, good. It's AoE, and it's pretty decent damage. Like, I would really love to be Holy too, because it's not all that much damage, but it's a decent area of effect, and then it also has this bewilderment effect, which makes them confused if they fail a second magic resistance check. So, that is turn 36. I'll see you all in turn 37. Things are going pretty well. Like I've said, overall I'm happy with where I am. Of course, things could always be better. Like, that's always going to be true. But overall, I am definitely satisfied. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next turn. Alright, so it's turn 37. Good news and bad news this turn. Good news, we are forging Bloodstones with Mr. Runo here. Also good news, we've driven off the last of Hinnom's troops and captured all of Hinnom's former territory. Except for what's been taken by Independence. That wasn't even Hinnom. That was Ternanog, was wiped out by barbarians. I think Niflheim encroached just a little bit, but we've gotten pretty much all of it. Also good news, we had a random event that gave us the Cave of Dark Riots, which is +2 death gems per turn, and gave Lutbalt Tainted Presence, which gives him 60 undead leadership. All of that is pretty neat. Bad news. Therados just annihilated the Marverni. Marverni and Oak Beach both fell this turn. And, to basically the same tactics. So we had a huge pile of ghosts here, including a whole bunch of spectral archers firing their spectral bows, and a whole bunch of spectral hoplites with their spectral long spears. And they cast foul vapors, and they just overran. Marverni was defending with just a few mages and then a whole bunch of boars. And the boars really were not very effective against the ghosts, as one might expect, considering they have magic resistance of 4 and are a trampling unit. So the Marverni mages cast a whole bunch of spells, including a lot of gifts from heaven. They did quite a bit of damage, but they were murdered by spectral curates eventually. And they just... this spectral curate is diseased, which of course does not hurt him because he's undead, and also he's disease resistant. I can see the Bless here. With the Bless, spectral curates are pretty frightening, to be honest. Especially because when they are blessed, they go berserk +3. So they have that going for them, and of course they regenerate. They regenerate 2 hit points per round. So yeah, the Marverni inflicted decent casualties, but not nearly good enough. And to be honest, my troops would not fare all that much better. Now, my infantry would do a lot more damage, but they would also die very, very quickly, much like the boars did, because they have very little magic resistance, and also their defense isn't great. So if you have high magic resistance, spectral hoplites are not dangerous to you, because every time you succeed in a magic resistance check, their attack goes down to 7 damage. So they're not all that dangerous, but they're ethereal, they're floating, they're tough to kill, is the thing. Still forging fire in a jar, forging another dwarven hammer, some owl quills, a girdle of might, sort of stockpiling just a little bit of thug gear with the girdles of might here, and as soon as I hit construction 6, which should happen in 2 turns, I'll be able to turn out, like, actual gear. Irminsul has woken up. That is the other piece of good news. Irminsul, the god of Ulm, sovereign of sin, god of terror, has broken free. So he is forging himself an armor of twisting thorns. When he has that on, that will boost his nature and his blood magic. He'll be blood 5 after he puts that on. And then he will hold my thistle mace that I've forged. That will make him nature 5, and he'll be able to cast Mother Oak, which will increase my nature gem income by 10. That will be great. So I'll have that. That will give me a whole bunch of nature gems, and since I have alteration, that will mean that I can at least swarm, which will help. And of course I also have wooden warriors, so I can make my guys tough. Now, having enchantment 4 gives me poison ward, and poison ward was buffed in the last patch, as I said, to give poison resistance 10. So long as I have nature mages, specifically nature 2 mages, I can cast poison ward. But for that I need nature 2 mages, which is why I'm starting to recruit antlered shamans. Because nature 1 mages cannot cast poison ward. It's level 2 and it costs a gem. So level 1 mages can't boost themselves to level 2 for the purpose of casting poison ward, because that would take a gem by itself. So, it's going to take another turn to break down the walls of Hinnom. We have to be very, very close. We're going to bust down the walls. We're going to assault Hinnom. Hopefully just take it right off the bat. We're going to move Leper Crawl back in real quick. Decimus is going to move out. Down here, we're also besieging Peacehaven, which is down to moderately damaged, so there can't be much left in there, because it's only 117 siege strength. These troops, we are going to give all of these troops to Sigismund, actually. And Wilhelm here. Stop that. Wilhelm's going to search while Sigismund moves back towards our heartlands, because I am distinctly worried that Therados is going to turn on me. In his position, that's what I'd probably do, unless Atlantis is actually fighting a war with him, which is possible. I wouldn't be entirely surprised by it. In fact, I would be kind of surprised if Atlantis wasn't fighting. So what I'm hoping to do is join up with Atlantis, join forces with him, and do battle with Therados. Now, Mictlan also just took a province from Therados here in Druidland and wiped out a little bit of province defense. I don't know if that was a deal or what was going on there. But between Oak Beach and Marverny, I think the Marverny are basically destroyed. They've got one palisade, one unupgraded palisade. And they've got an army of about 100 Great Boars. And that is all they have. And this army is actually much less than 450. It's about 300 now, which makes me think, like that's a big variation. I mean, it is within the 50%, but, like, did they have army size affecting items? I remember looking for that before as well. No, I don't think they do. They've got an E4 there. Yeah, my scouts are just bad. So, yeah, there's about 300 units there. And then there's about another 130 in Oak Beach. So that's still a lot. And then there's another at least 300 units here in Therados. Perfectly positioned to attack me. Or this throne. And I can't honestly think of another really good reason why there would be between 300 and 500 units piled up in Therados. And if this army went straight into me right now, it would roll over me. Like, I could not stop it. So, here's hoping they don't do that. Got lots of bloodhunting going on. I'm going to give that to Polly so that Ataulf can hang out here for a bit. Because he'll take the next load of slaves. Agawulf is going to go back to the capital. I'm hoping to be able to start churning out thug gear pretty quickly, because thugged out warrior chiefs, for all that they have magic resistance 7, thugged out warrior chiefs will be probably one of my most effective options against Therados. Like, if I can get them with decent thug gear, including blood thug gear, then they'll be able to chop through the ghosts pretty effectively. Because they have magic weapons, of course, and the ghosts have 0 protection. So as long as they don't die, if they have an area of effect weapon that isn't doing cold damage, they can burn through ghosts pretty effectively. Then the only thing I need is I need them to not die, I need them to not rout, and I need them to not fatigue out. So, Armor of Knights will go a long way towards helping them not die, because almost none of Therados' units do high damage. Armor of Knights and some other defensive item like a Vine Shield or a Shield of Gleaming Gold or something would do it. Then they'd also need a magical weapon, preferably either a Firebrand or a Mace of Eruption. And they'll need some fatigue-reducing items. Actually, to be perfectly honest, the best item for them would actually be the Flesh Eater, because it doesn't... it berserks them, so they won't rout. And then probably a Charcoal Shield, which gives fire damage, which gives a fire shield that will do damage to the ghosts. Now, that's expensive gear. We're talking, I mean, even for Ulm, I get a 4-gem discount, but we're talking a couple of 15-gem items. So it's quite a few gems on fragile chassis, but I think that's one of the best options I've got. I'm not up to the point yet where I can summon Vampire Lords, and I don't have the Thaumaturgy research to cast Wither Bones, which is the really effective anti-undead spell in the Death School. And Shadow Blast does not affect the undead. Nor does Blast of Unlife. Nor does most death spells don't. So, yeah. Like, literally, almost all death spells do not affect the undead. So it's Wither Bones or nothing. I mean, Dust to Dust in Thaumaturgy 1, my Shamans can spam that, and that does just, frankly, wipe out a square of undead beings per turn, but it can miss. In terms of blood, there are some blood options. Hellfire does AoE fire damage. Bloodletting doesn't affect the undead. Devils have magic weapons. Fiends of Darkness have magic weapons. And dark power. Agony also doesn't affect the undead. Demon Knights are the ones that I can most easily get, and unfortunately they don't have magic weapons, but they are powerful. And they do cause fear. So they have that going for them. So Demon Knights would still be a pretty decent idea. Storm Demons would be ideal, because their ranged attack is magical. Unfortunately, I don't have Air 2, like, anywhere in my nation. I just don't get Air 2, except on a very rare random. So, unlikely that I'll be able to do that, except through Ritual of 5 Gates, which gives me one of each type of demonic unit. Frost Fiend, Devil, Demon Knight, Storm Demon, and Fiend of Darkness. So Ritual of 5 Gates will definitely be something that I'll cast if and when I can. But as it stands, I don't have much by way of... I mean, I don't have Fire 2. I haven't randomed a single Fire 2 yet. And, which is pretty unfortunate. Granite Priestesses are 1 recruitment point, so I could, if I wanted to, just crap out them 2 at a time. On average, that would give me blood 1 every turn, but, eh. But, yeah, just spamming out as much blood 1, I mean, as much death 1 as I can is probably the short-term strategy. Blood Hunt, please. Unfortunately, those don't stack, but as soon as the next lady gets down there, Ollie, well, I guess she already has one, so really I don't know why Polly has 2. We'll just give one to Attilas so he can drop it off back in the stockpile. So yeah, I'm worried about that, but I'm about to get Mother Oak. My blood hunting is expanding. We're doing pretty well for ourselves. Just need a little bit of money to build more forts. We'll be taking Hinnom soon. We'll move down and take Peacehaven. Everything will be hunky-dory. We will be big, we will be strong, we'll be large and in charge. And if Therados comes after us, honestly, I'm going to layer as many casts of Poison Ward as I can afford, and I'm going to cast Swarm a million times to just choke up his garbage with my garbage. And we'll see where we go from there. And then just anything that does magical damage, basically. If necessary, I'll swap my research over to Emergency Evocation 3 and get Fireball, because I can throw fireballs into them, and fireballs do magical damage that he's not resistant to. So, should be able to burninate some of the ghosts that way, if I just hand fire in a jar to various people. And then if we can ratchet down to Magma Eruption will put paid to large numbers of ghosts at a time. Or Falling Fires, even. So, that is the strategy such as it is. Mainly, a large portion of my strategy is hoping that Therados doesn't turn on me immediately. We've been fairly friendly all game, so hopefully he won't. But we'll see how that goes. I would like to be the aggressor there. I mean, I do want a war, but I want a war on my terms. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you in turn 38.